All right, welcome to section 411, the very last section in the Cisco CCT data center series. In this video, we're going to look at troubleshooting Cisco UCS servers. All right, so in order to do that, I do have a couple of slides. We're not going to go straight out to the documentation because I know that Cisco really wants you to understand these specific issues that I have here. So anyway, that's why I have slides. So the first issue here on the C-Series servers is what if there's no power to the server? Check the power cord, verify the power source, and then check the power supply unit itself to make sure that it doesn't have an error light. Then if the server doesn't boot, you verify the power source, you verify that the power supplies are receiving power, then you can reseat the DIMMs, the CPU, and the PCI cards. And lastly, you can check the CPU sockets for bent pins. Now, of course, like I've mentioned in other videos, you're going to want to Google Troubleshooting UCS C-Series to make sure that you're going to be accessing the most recent guides. All right, next we have a couple of issues relevant to the B series, and again, it's going to be the same thing, no power to the server. So if the blade you just replaced or worked on doesn't have power, but all the other ones in the chassis do, this is what you do. You check the back of the blade server to make sure the parts that connect to the chassis are not damaged. You reseat the blade in the same slot in the chassis. Next, you would try moving it to another slot in the same chassis. And last, you would move the blade to another chassis entirely. Next, if the blade server does not boot and discover, you check the CPU socket for damaged pins, you reseat the CPU, you reseat the DIMMs, reseat the mezzanine adapter card, then you make sure if the firmware on the blade matches that of the UCS manager, you decommission the blade, and build the blade with minimum configuration to see if it will boot. And again, you'd want to Google Troubleshooting UCS B series to get the most relevant or recent documentation on this. Okay, and so here we're at the Cisco UCS Troubleshooting Reference Guide, Cisco UCS Manager Troubleshooting Reference Guide. And I bring this up just to make a point that a lot of these technologies that you're working on do have troubleshooting reference guides. So if you ever run into something, you can always pull it up. And anyway, here's the one for UCS Manager. And you can see that it has a bunch of the common issues here on the menu selection on the left-hand side. All right, that pretty much concludes this lesson and the video series in its entirety. I hope it helps. Good luck on the test.